What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you? Some of you might be thinking about simple things like you were sitting in class one time, felt a little movement in the stomach, thought it was just going to be a simple, quiet, silent passing of the gas, but it ended up being an absolute nuclear missile. And that's pretty embarrassing. I've been there as well. Not a fun thing to go through. But for me, the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened in my life stands out and is really brutal. So growing up, my mom was a high school math teacher, so she worked at the high school. And high school started like an hour and a half before the elementary school did, so I would go to work with her, and we'd kind of wait until the bus came to take us over to the elementary school for class. And because elementary school kids can't really be trusted to behave while they're waiting for the bus, we would have a high school kid that would watch us, make sure we didn't get in anything, didn't do anything bad, and we got on the bus and went over to class. So that was usually fine, but the day before winter break of my 5th grade year, we had a guy that was maybe a bit of a bully, not the nicest guy, and it also happened to be just brutally cold outside. It was below zero, freezing cold. And because this guy was not the nicest guy, he told my little brother, who's 2 years younger than me, to go lick the flagpole right in front of the high school and see if his tongue would get stuck. Well, I'm like the protective older brother. I didn't want that to happen. So I said, I'll lick the flagpole, because I also just didn't think that was real. I thought that was a myth that was made up, and that there was no way I would get stuck to the flagpole if I licked it. So I went right to the flagpole, full tongue, act of defiance, licked the flagpole, immediately got stuck. I was frozen to the flagpole by my tongue in front of the high school, and I very quickly realized how bad of a mistake this was, because one, it was super embarrassing. High school kids started to figure out that there was a little boy stuck to the flagpole in front, and I gathered an audience really quickly. And number two, it was incredibly painful. I mean, just brutally painful. The tongue was freezing cold, and if you moved it all, it would start pulling the skin off my tongue, and I was bleeding from my mouth. And to make matters worse, once I got stuck to the flagpole, the high school kid just made my brother lick the flagpole as well, so I didn't even save him from any pain. So there was two of us stuck to a flagpole in front of the high school with an audience, and right when I thought it couldn't get any worse than that, the bus pulled up to take us over to the elementary school. So all of my classmates also got to see me and my brother stuck to a flagpole by our tongues in the winter the day before Christmas break. It was like something straight out of a Christmas story. And really the next week, maybe even 2 weeks, was no fun, because I could not eat anything with even a little bit of salt in it, or my tongue would just be on fire. It was so painful for 2 weeks. And I still to this day have not lived down the embarrassment of getting stuck to a flagpole. Every single year, my family gives me a shirt with the little boy from A Christmas Story. I think it's Ralphie. A picture of him or a t-shirt of him, something from that, because that is the cultural symbol for getting stuck to a flagpole. And it happened to me and my brother right before Christmas. So a couple notes about this. One, don't lick a flagpole. Even if it's not cold out, don't lick a flagpole. That's just gross. But if it's cold, definitely don't lick a flagpole. You will get stuck to it. It is real. And it's really painful and really embarrassing. And second note, if you do find yourself stuck to a metal object by your tongue, pour some hot water over your mouth. That's how you get off. That's really the only way that we found out how to do it. Don't pull, because it only gets worse if you pull. So yeah, that's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. Hopefully this can be a public service announcement to not lick flagpoles, but there you go. I'll see you guys next time.